Sometimes it's our parents and siblings who stand by us. Today we are going to take a look at another horrible case with you. In this world, we place the most trust in our family members because in tough times, it's our parents and siblings who stand by us. But in today's story, this trust was betrayed, and the person with whom Saima Khan had spent more than half of her life ultimately put her to eternal rest. Saima Khan lived with her family in the Netherlands. Her family included her parents, 2 brothers, and a sister named Saba Khan, whom Saima loved dearly. Saima was 7 years older than her sister Saba, but despite the age difference, there was a lot of love between them. When Saba was 18 years old, the whole family moved to Luton Town in England. A few years after moving to England, in 2009, Saima's marriage was arranged with Hafiz Rahman, who lived in Pakistan. To marry Saima, Hafiz moved to Luton and began living with Saima's family. Then, Hafiz and Saima got married, and to settle in England, Hafiz soon started working as a taxi driver. After the wedding, they were very happy, and within a few years they had 4 children. But even many years after the marriage, Hafiz was still living with Saima and their children at Saima's family home. On the other hand, after her sister's wedding, Saba thought about becoming a lawyer, but she didn't enjoy university. So she dropped out of her studies and took training to become a care worker like her sister. She then started frequently helping elderly or frail people with their daily tasks, either at senior homes or in their own homes. Now the year 2016 had started, and at the beginning of 2016, Saima and Hafiz decided that they would buy their own home and start living there with their children. Both Saima and Hafiz were working in England by this time, so they had saved enough money to buy their own house. They started looking for a new home and informed their parents about it. However, on May 23, 2016, the Khan and Rahman families had no idea that this day would become a nightmare for them. On May 23rd, a neighbor of the Khan family passed away, and in the evening, the entire Khan family attended the funeral at Luton Central Mosque. However, Saima had a duty at an elderly woman's home near her own house, so that day, her 6-year-old daughter, her 4- and 2-year-old sons, and her 1-year-old youngest daughter were all under Saba's care. Around 11:00 p.m., Saba sent text message to her sister Saima, saying, "The youngest daughter isn't sleeping and is crying a lot, so you should feed her and then go back to work." In response, Saima wrote, "I'm on my way." Saima returned home at 11:07 p.m., and about 20 minutes later, Saba dialed 999 to call for an ambulance. Additionally, the police arrived at 11:38 p.m. The reason for the police's arrival and Saba's call to 999 for an ambulance was that someone had murdered Saima. After this, Saba tearfully told the police officer that when Saima arrived home, she was on the 2nd floor with all 4 children. Saba then told Saima that she was going to take a shower, and while she was in the bathroom, she heard 3 or 4 very loud noises from downstairs, followed immediately by her sister Saima's screams. Saba quickly got dressed, checked on the children who were all sleeping, and then went downstairs to find Saima's blood-soaked body lying near the main door. Saima's body had numerous wounds, and her blood was splattered on the floor and walls. Additionally, Saba told the police officer that she had tried to stop her sister's bleeding with a scarf. After this, the female police officer asked Saba how she got the injury on her hand. In response, Saba said, "There was glass all around Saima's body, and when I saw my sister's dead body, I held her tightly, and maybe that's when I got this cut on my hand." Saba explained that she first called her father to inform him about it, and then called the ambulance. Describing the crime scene, Saba told the police that the main door of the house was closed, but the window next to it was broken, and the back door of the house was also open. Saba said, "I think whoever attacked Saima broke in through the window next to the main door and later escaped through the back door." After hearing this entire story, the police sent Saima's body for a post-mortem and completely sealed off the crime scene. Additionally, the police asked the Khan family to stay elsewhere until the investigation was completed. However, during the search of the house, the police noticed that almost everything was scattered and some valuable jewelry was missing. At first glance, it seemed like a simple case of burglary where Saima unfortunately confronted the thief, who then attacked her while escaping. This incident shocked and worried the Khan family's neighbors, prompting them to install alarms and CCTV cameras to tighten their security. Khatija Malik, Saima's neighbor, stated, "Saima's mother is in a terrible state of shock, saying she wishes the thief had looted the whole house but left her daughter alive." Meanwhile, the forensic team collected fingerprints and some hair from the house. They also examined the road outside and the cars parked there. Saima's post-mortem revealed 68 deep wounds on her body, and it appeared that someone had brutally attacked her with a sharp object. Her entire body was in a very bad condition. When her body was taken to the hospital from the house, her head was connected to her body by only a few veins. The horrifying part was that one of her hands was completely cut off, and the killer had specifically wanted to disfigure her face, as there were numerous wounds on it. Now, on May 25, 2016, the police questioned Saima's family. However, Saima's parents and her husband Hafiz were not questioned extensively because they were all at the mosque that night. Since Saba was the only witness, the police questioned her for a long time. Initially, Saba repeated the same story she had told the police the first time. But under pressure from the police, she revealed a big secret about her sister. Saba said, "I feel a little ashamed, but it's important to mention that Saima was in a relationship with another guy besides Hafiz. I don't know much about that guy, but I think Saima and her lover had a fight, and in anger he killed her." Now, since the entire town of Luton had learned about the case, when it was revealed in the media that Saima had a relationship with another man besides her husband, people started questioning Saima's character. However, the police officers tried to find out the name of Saima's boyfriend, if she had one. But when Saima's cell phone and email were examined, no evidence of her infidelity was found. Meanwhile, Saima's husband, Hafiz, gave a statement to the media saying, "Saima has left us at the age of 34, and my 4 children will spend their whole lives longing for their mother's love." Saima was a loyal wife, a good daughter, and a loving sister who cared for everyone. But then, on May 26, 2016, something very strange struck the police. Just 3 days after Saima's death, her sister Saba went back to work. When a family member dies, it usually takes days to recover from the shock, but Saba's behavior was very unusual. Additionally, an officer thought that the killer had attacked Saima numerous times, which would have drenched the killer's clothes in blood. Therefore, when the killer fled the crime scene, there should have been a trail of blood, but forensic experts did not find a single drop of blood at the back door of the house. However, something was found in the house that shifted all suspicion onto Saba. Actually, a black garbage bag was found under Saba's bed, containing a bag from a store called Tesco. When the bag was opened, it contained blood-soaked black clothes, gloves, and a knife with dried blood on it. All these items were sent for forensic testing. It was then revealed that the blood on the knife was Saima's, and the fingerprints on the handle matched Saba's. Additionally, there were a few shards of glass on the clothes. CCTV footage from the Tesco store was retrieved, showing Saba buying a knife on May 16, 2016, a week before Saima's murder. After these revelations, Saba was arrested on May 31st. However, when she was handcuffed, she cried loudly, saying, "I loved Saima very much. This is a misunderstanding. I am innocent." But there was so much evidence against Saba that it was clear she had lied to the police and had indeed killed her sister, Saima. When the police seized and searched Saba's phone, the motive for the murder also came to light. Saba used to exchange loving messages with her brother-in-law, Hafiz, and would speak bad of her sister, Saima. In a text message, Saba wrote to her brother-in-law, "If I could take out my heart and show it to you, you would see what you mean to me." In another text message, Saba wrote, "No matter how badly you treat me, no force in the world can change my love. My love for you grows every day." When Saba was shown all the evidence collected against her, she finally told the police the whole truth. In reality, Hafiz and Saba had been in a relationship for 4 years, deceiving their families. In 2012, when Saima's second child was born, she started taking care of both her children. During this time, Hafiz and Saba began meeting secretly, and Hafiz would take Saba around in his taxi. They also had a physical relationship, and as a result, Saba became pregnant. Distressed, Hafiz went to a mosque far from home and asked an imam if he could marry his sister-in-law. The imam is the person who leads prayers in a mosque. The imam then explained to Hafiz that marrying two sisters at the same time is not permissible in Islam. As a result, Saba was forced to have an abortion. On the other hand, when Saima's fourth child was born, Saba became very jealous of her own sister. Saba wanted Hafiz and his children for herself, so she started troubling Hafiz a lot. In early 2016, Hafiz realized that forming a relationship with Saba was a big mistake. Meanwhile, Hafiz told Saba that they had committed a grave sin by forming this relationship, but he was ready to forget this mistake and asked her to do the same. However, Saba threatened to commit suicide upon hearing this, so Hafiz had to continue his daily chats with her. When Hafiz and Saima decided to live separately in February 2016, Saba felt that she had lost Hafiz. However, she thought that if Saima died, her father wouldn't object to her marrying Hafiz. Consequently, Saba began searching for ways to kill her sister Saima. Firstly, Saba contacted a black magic practitioner in Pakistan via text message and sent him £5,000 to have Saima killed. When she didn't see any results from the black magic after several days, she decided to kill Saima herself. She searched on Google for where to find poisonous snakes in the UK, intending to kill her sister with snake venom. However, since only 2 or 3 types of venomous snakes are found in the UK, she soon abandoned this idea. Afterwards, she found a book through Google, read it, and then bought a knife from Tesco, waiting for an opportunity to be alone with Saima at home. Saba only had to wait for a week after buying the knife. When there was a death in their neighborhood on May 23rd, and all their family members went there, she messaged Saima to come home. Just a few minutes before killing Saima, Saba searched on Google how long a Muslim funeral takes. She wanted to know how much time she had to carry out the murder. After that, Saba dressed in black clothes and gloves, turned off all the lights in the house, and waited for Saima to come home. As soon as Saima entered the house, Saba attacked her from behind and stabbed her 68 times. Even after Saima was dead, Saba continued to stab her. Then she broke the window next to the front door and opened the back door of the house. Afterward, Saba took off her blood-soaked clothes and made up a false story. She called her father, crying, and told him everything. Immediately after, she called 999 to summon both the ambulance and the police. A woman can be so blind in love. Saba crossed all limits. She also falsely accused her sister of adultery. When Hafiz was questioned, he said he had nothing to do with Saima's murder. Hafiz put all the blame on Saba, claiming she had manipulated him and that he was an innocent man. In my opinion, if Hafiz had not started a relationship with Saba in 2012, Saima would be alive today. Anyway, on October 24, 2017, Judge Christopher Moss sentenced Saba to life imprisonment for her crime. Saba will not be eligible for parole for 22 years and is currently serving her sentence in prison. Hafiz expressed his remorse in court, saying that after Saima's murder, it was the children who suffered the most, as they would likely never receive the love Saima had given them. So with that, the Saima Khan murder case comes to an end right here. Additionally, if you want to recommend any case for us to make a detailed video on, you can write the name of that case in the comments section. If you appreciate our efforts, like and share this video. If you haven't subscribed, do so now. Thank you.